Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, the final countdown, tallying the votes as members of Alberta's largest union decide whether to strike. Frequent fires, firefighters raising concerns after being called to the same facility multiple times. And push it to the limit. A local racer becomes the first Canadian woman to set a motorcycle land speed record.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Thousands of public sector workers could soon be hitting the picket lines. Today marked the final day of voting for the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees. CTV's Brendan Purdy joins us from outside the AUP office this evening. So, Brendan, is there any indication at this point of how that vote is leaning?
Well, Matt, not as of yet, as the voting just closed about 30 minutes ago, so we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see how that vote ultimately swings. Now, there are 22,000 AUPE members serving in sectors including law enforcement, social services, natural resources, and administration. These members are voting whether to accept a mediator's recommendation on a deal with the province. If most vote no, the union will go on strike before next Tuesday. Some key points of the agreement are a 12% salary increase over 4 years, weekend shift premiums, and the recognition of all provincial and federal holidays. The deal also stresses the importance of creating a recruitment, attraction, and retention fund. Now, once again, Matt, as for when we're going to see those results, CTV has heard they could come as little as this evening, or we could end up waiting all the way until tomorrow morning. Matt?
All right, we'll wait and see. Brendan Purdy live outside of the AUPE this evening. Thank you. The province is rewriting its order to remove certain books from Alberta school libraries. The Premier says the ministerial order has been misconstrued and the province just wants to remove inappropriate content from elementary schools. This move, though, is making some question what is considered inappropriate. CTV's Evan Kenny reports.
The UCP government has pumped the brakes on its order to pull certain books from school libraries.
And the Premier has said, we want to ban pornography and we want to keep the classics, and it's common sense to know the difference.
Earlier this week, a list of more than 200 books being pulled by Edmonton Public Schools was released, including classics like The Handmaid's Tale and Brave New World.
Common sense is one of those terms that people throw around, meaning everybody should think the way I think. I think it's common sense. You think it's common sense. Someone else may think it's completely different.
Tuesday, the province said it would be revising the order immediately to ensure that classic literary works remain in school libraries, while books with graphic, pornographic images don't end up in the hands of children. This political scientist believes the ministerial order becomes blurry when it comes to defining what pornographic images are.
So if you look at the current definition of pornography in Canada's criminal code, all the books that were on the list would probably be okay.
A definition other countries have struggled with.
There have been multiple court cases, both in Canada and the U.S., trying to do that, and it is so subjective.
It's absolutely a terrible way to deal with social problems.
One expert says this is a censorship issue.
All of us are in favor of free speech till we come across expression that we don't like. And then a lot of those people say, well, and the way to deal with that is to make sure nobody else can see it because I don't like it.
CTV News reached out to the province for comment. In a statement, the education minister says, we are currently working on a new version of the ministerial order and will not be commenting about specific changes at this time. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Prime Minister will bring his caucus to Edmonton next week. Mark Carney's office confirms the Liberals will be holding meetings here before the fall sitting of the House starts September 15th. The Prime Minister is in Toronto today for a Liberal cabinet meeting. He said he had a lengthy phone conversation with U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday where they spoke about trade and geopolitics. Today's agenda includes deciding which major national project to put on the fast track and how the government can build affordable homes on federal land. A budget is expected to be tabled in October. A man with a history of violent offenses is facing new charges after allegedly stabbing a stranger outside of a Canadian Tire. This happened Thursday morning outside the Canadian Tire near 96th Street and 162nd Avenue. Police say a 64-year-old man was loading purchases into his vehicle when a stranger approached him and stabbed him. The man then rode away on a bike. Police say they arrested a 33-year-old on a bus after getting a description from witnesses. Nathan Pichet is facing charges, including attempted murder. Police say Pichet's criminal history includes a manslaughter conviction after stabbing a man in West Edmonton in 2018. A large fire at the Genalta recycling facility over the weekend is under investigation by multiple agencies. Now, the union representing the firefighters who battled those flames are raising concerns of their own. CTV's Amanda Anderson explains.
The fire at Genalta Recycling, a scrap metal processing plant, started around 8:30 Saturday morning. Thick black smoke billowed into the sky, seen kilometers away. This lasted 2 days.
We don't know exactly what's in the smoke.
The vice president of the Strathcona Firefighters Association is concerned about the health impacts of the smoke, not only to firefighters, but the public.
You know, when we see the smoke plume shift and go towards our community where our family and our children are sleeping and living, that's a concern to us.
Alberta Environment responded to monitor air quality, and an advisory was issued to the public. The union's concern is the fire at the recycler isn't a one-off.
Suffice it to say, it's multiple fires a year.
One of them, this large fire in 2020. Moen says it took crews 31 hours to fight.
When we see a pattern of going back to the same business over and over again, we have to believe that there's something that can be done. I mean, if we know that in the next few months we're likely to respond back there, you know, we should be able to identify what's causing the problem and fix it.
Strathcona County Emergency Services, with support from Alberta Environment, is investigating. So is Occupational Health and Safety. In a statement, Mayor Rod Frank says, "We look forward to the results of this investigation and any recommendations that will support community safety and help prevent future fires at this site." Moen is glad the issue is getting attention.
Maybe it's something that we should have brought up in the past, you know, given how many fires we've gone to there. But I know it's definitely something that our county is concerned about and they're working on solutions for, and we definitely want to support them.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Sherwood Park.
The Edmonton area is under another air quality advisory. Conditions have been fluctuating since wildfire smoke moved in from the north over the weekend. Today, we've seen the Air Quality Health Index range from moderate to high risk. Environment Canada advises limiting time spent outdoors and consider rescheduling or canceling outdoor events. It also says you can limit your exposure to the fine particles in smoke with a respirator-type mask and by using a good quality air filter in your home. All right, Josh, well, we're certainly hoping that smoke clears out of here.
Yeah, and it should be gone, I think, by tomorrow afternoon. Friday looks a whole lot clearer as well. It should all blow back off to the west. It will remain hazy, though, I think, for the rest of this evening and at least the first half of the day tomorrow. Hot and hazy through the day today, although it didn't feel that hot because of the wind and the haze. 28 degrees downtown Edmonton right now. That's our daytime high, and there's your wind. 25, gusts have been up around 40 kilometers per hour through this afternoon. It's been a little gusty as well outside the city. 20 is the average daytime high, so way above average today. Tomorrow, big cool down on the way, but it only puts us back to average. We're only back to about 19 or 20 for a daytime high. The average low is 9. We'll stay in double digits tomorrow morning. We'll probably get into single digits Friday morning. There's your air quality warning. As Matt was mentioning, it's in effect for the city of Edmonton, but really almost all of the province. The only spots, Lloydminster and areas off to the south. The worst of the air quality through this afternoon has been moderate to high risk, but for most of the day, moderate risk in and around Edmonton in these orange dots here. You get into the reds, especially these dark reds, that's where the worst of the air quality has been. So through western parts of the province around Jasper, you've had some high to very high risk readings on the Air Quality Health Index. And I think that's going to be the case for the next couple of days in those areas. A little cooler and some showers across northeastern sections of the province. This will all avoid the Edmonton area as it slides off to the southeast. So we'll just see a few clouds through this evening. Still a little gusty right through the overnight period and into tomorrow morning. And then the wind dies down tomorrow afternoon. The air quality improves. And we get to about 20 for a daytime high. So warmer at like 9 o'clock tonight than it will be at any point tomorrow. It does warm up again for Friday and the weekend, though. I'll show you that in a couple minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, making their case, an upcoming debate could help establish a front-runner in Edmonton's mayoral race.
It's very high stakes, and it's especially high stakes because it's such a close race.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
With less than 2 months to go before the municipal election and an open mayor's race, many voters are beginning to decide who to support. The Chamber of Commerce is hosting a televised mayoral debate later this month to help inform that choice. As CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports, the debate could help establish a frontrunner.
I do think I have the skill set to lead us in, past the next election.
Councillor Tim Cardmell has been in campaign mode since November, a bid for mayor that became more complicated in the time since.
With Sohi announcing he's not going to run, and then Andrew Knack coming back into the race, it really changed the dynamic from one that looked like, Tim Cardmell was going to win in a walk, to now a very close race.
There are now about a dozen people looking to lead Edmonton, current and former city councillors, former politicians from other levels of government, as well as political outsiders. Later this month, some of them will get a major exposure boost.
This will be the largest debate of the election and the only one televised across the entire city.
The Chamber of Commerce is hosting the first televised debate in recent memory, and only 5 candidates have been selected to take the stage. Andrew Knack, Tim Cardmell, Michael Walters, Rahim Jaffer, and Omar Mohammed. The others didn't make the cut, including former 4-term councillor Tony Katarina.
Fundamental to having a televised debate is to make sure that the candidates get an opportunity to speak, and we needed to have a cutoff to have a televised debate.
It's very high stakes, and it's especially high stakes because it's such a close race.
Political analyst John Brennan believes the debate is an opportunity for lesser-known candidates like Jaffer and Mohammed to get noticed, and a chance for everyone to generate momentum for the rest of the campaign.
It's the clips that come out of the debate that are going to be important, like who really does well and who's perceived to have done well.
Chamber President Doug Griffiths just hopes it will help voters make up their minds.
That's what we need, is some defining moment that helps Edmontonians choose their destiny.
The debate airs Friday, September 12th. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The U of A is honoring its relationship with Indigenous people by doing something new. The university opened its doors to its new Commons Flag Plaza. The ceremony included raising the Treaty 6 flag and the Métis flag right in the center of campus. This is the first time the university has raised these flags.
I hope that they see the history of these lands. They see the importance of truth and reconciliation to the university community, particularly with the Treaty 6 and the Métis flag up there. We also have the flag of the province of Alberta, the Canadian flag, and finally we will add the flag of the University of Alberta.
The U of A says all of the flags are meant to represent the foundational commitments and values of the university. Chefs, artists, and musicians are preparing to celebrate a milestone for a local festival. Marissa Kay is performing with 2 other musicians on stage Saturday night during the Kaleido Family Arts Festival. The festival is happening this weekend on 118th Avenue between 90th and 95th Streets. There's music, dancing, theater, film, and plenty of other performances.
I am really looking forward to shopping. This vendor village is going to be really incredible this year. We have lots of great food trucks here this year as well. And the second thing I'm always excited for is just the music and the art, just all along the avenue. There's always something to do.
The Kaleido Family Arts Festival runs Friday through Sunday and is celebrating its 20th anniversary. Comedian Nate Bargatze will make a stop in Edmonton next summer.
Our dog sleeps in our bed, and someone told me you're not supposed to do that because you lose dominance over the dog. And I asked him, I said, what year do you think it is? These are all doodles.
The show at Rogers Place on July 26th will be part of his Big Dumb Eyes tour. Bargatze is known for his Netflix specials, Saturday Night Live appearances, and will host the Emmys later this month. Tickets for his Edmonton show go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Still to come tonight on CTV News, Rock the Block. Local schools and businesses throw a huge party for students heading back to college and university.
The great thing about university and college is you get to pursue new interests. You get to try things out.
Programming brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free.
A section of road downtown was closed to traffic earlier today for a big block party. Thousands of students from MacEwan University and Northwest College were enjoying food, games, entertainment, and prizes. Around 30 downtown businesses set up booths on 108th Street between 102nd and 104th Avenue to welcome all those students back. A little bit more out there than just that barbecue smoke, Josh, that people had to contend with today.
Yeah, at times through the day today, it was fairly thick. It looks to be improving slightly as you look outside right now with the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right or it's free. There's no way that is as hazy as it was 24 hours ago, and yet the air quality health index is actually worse than it was at this point yesterday. So I don't know where that station is, but it is getting better, noticeably. 28 degrees right now in Edmonton. That's our daytime high. 28 as well in Red Deer. You got 18 in Fort McMurray, 29 in Grand Prairie right now, and that is their daytime high. There's your wind out of the northwest, 25, gusting to about 35 kilometers per hour. A little stronger there in through the Peace Country, gusts to around 45 kilometers per hour. Some scattered showers here off into northeastern Alberta. These will all avoid the Edmonton area, so we're going to do a little bit of clearing as we head through this evening and overnight tonight, and by tomorrow afternoon, smoke should start to clear out as well. Again, for most of today, we've been in the moderate risk range. Worst of the air quality here off to the northeast of Slave Lake. Fort McMurray got a lot worse than yesterday. And then right there, west of Red Deer and in through the Jasper region, that's where you've had some high to very high air quality health index readings. And that'll be the case, it looks like, for the next 24 to 48 hours. There's the smoke going through overnight tonight, a little thicker there in the green zones. Really thickens up again through the course of tomorrow, late in the day in through western Alberta. But look at the Edmonton region. By tomorrow afternoon, skies start to clear. Looks like there's Friday. It should be fairly clear through the day. So western Alberta will be dealing with some wildfire smoke for the next couple of days. But here in the city, I think by tomorrow afternoon, the worst is out of here, which will be nice because skies are going to stay fairly clear. Lots of sunshine to go along with a cool down for one day tomorrow. There's today. You can see all the heat in the dark reds. Look, that is gone right across the province tomorrow. But it slowly starts to return through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're back into the mid to maybe even upper 20s through the course of the weekend. 9 degrees in Fort McMurray tomorrow morning, as well as Grand Prairie, about 11 in Edmonton, Red Deer at around 12 degrees. These are not bad temperatures for morning lows. After a cool day tomorrow, though, Friday morning, we're going to have to watch for some patchy frost in parts of central and north central Alberta. 17 degrees tomorrow afternoon in Fort McMurray. It'll be 17 or 18 Cold Lake, Lac-La-Biche. Low 20s in Grand Prairie after being close to 30 today. Mid-20s for Jasper, but just mid-teens at the other end of the province in Lloydminster. We'll be in the low to mid-20s through this evening. Still pretty gusty. Gusts to about 30 or 40 kilometers per hour right through the overnight and into tomorrow morning. Then the wind backs off tomorrow afternoon. The smoke eases, and we get to about 20 for a daytime high. 22 or 23 with mainly sunny skies Friday, and then anywhere between 24 and 28 for highs Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which, as you can see, the average is 20. So back to a handful of degrees above average through the weekend and next week.
All right, Josh, thank you. We have some breaking news for you now related to our top story this evening, the public sector worker vote on a new contract. The results are in, and 64% of members voted to accept a mediator's recommendation for a deal with the province. That means there will not be a strike in the coming days. We'll have more details tonight on CTV News at 6. A first-of-its-kind facility in Innisfail is hoping to address global climate change. Deep Sky Alpha opened in August. The facility takes CO2 particles from the air and turns them into liquid, which is then stored underground for a minimum of 1,000 years. The company's CEO says this will help avoid extreme weather and address growing concerns around climate change.
The reason why the first facility of such a kind in Canada is in Alberta is due to the fact that we are blessed here in Alberta with amazing geology to actually be able to store the CO2 underground. This is not something that you can do anywhere you would like. It does require a very specific geology to be able to do that.
Deep Sky is working to open other facilities across the country in the coming years. When we return, motorcycle milestone. A local woman sets a land speed world record.
The record is probably the coolest thing that I've ever done.
CTV News at 5 continues.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Coming up on CTV News, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre wants the Liberal government to end the temporary foreign worker program, plus a warning from Health Canada about a shortage of a heart medication. And with climate change-driven disasters causing insurance to rise, we'll look at some ways to try and get a better rate. Those stories and more tonight on CTV National News and CTV News at 6 with Jeff Hastings. A woman in Edmonton has satisfied her need for speed. She's returned to Alberta after a motorcycle race in the States where she reached new speeds and a world record. CTV's Merrick DeCash has her story.
Leanne Langlois is fresh off competing at the Bonneville Motorcycle Speed Trials. The event takes place on the iconic Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah.
My first run, we ran 130, just a little Sunday stroll at miles per hour. So that's over 200 kilometers an hour.
A few rides later, she ended up setting a new motorcycle land speed world record. She was going more than 136 miles an hour. That's 267 kilometers an hour.
The record is probably the coolest thing that I've ever done. There's not a lot of people who, first of all, go down and set national records, let alone world records.
Langlois has been going to Utah every August for the past 11 years. She became serious about winning recently after JKR Power Sports designed a custom bike for her.
Last year went down and set 2 national AMA records and figured we'd aim bigger this year and get a world record.
Away from the track, Leanne works as a senior advisor for Chrysalis, an Alberta Society for Citizens with Disabilities. She's the only Canadian woman to break a land speed world record.
Being one of the very few women, let alone very few Canadians who do this is, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I wish more people would come down because it's quite an awesome time.
Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.